Good morning for me, maybe good afternoon or evening for you. I'm Dr. Sammy. This is Yoga Foundations. Yoga Foundations is a class that is very versatile, so we're not doing anything crazy in this class, nothing like handstands or back bends, like crazy back bends. This is more of like kind of a gentle awareness based class, and so we will move our body, but make sure that you just listen to yourself, listen to your body, and modify anything that just doesn't feel right for you. There are a lot of options out there, and if you're not sure what those options are, then reach out to me, and I will help guide you through that. It's a little chilly for me this morning, so that's why I got a long sleeve shirt on. I'm gonna start sitting on my pillow just to help keep nice, tall, seated alignment. Certainly sitting on a prop can help you with your seated alignment as well, so something that you might have available around your home. We're going to begin by just resting our hands on our lap. We're going to roll our shoulders up, back, and down, and just start to bring some movement into those shoulder blades. Bring our arms all the way up to the sky and just stretch them up nice and tall, starting to bring some length into the back body. And then relax the arms back down. Gently look over the right. And gently look over the left. And we'll just come back to a neutral center. It's kind of waking our spine up a little bit before we do some breath awareness. That'll help to make it easier for us to actually breathe. So we're going to close our eyes and just start to take gentle inhales through your nose and exhales through your nose. Start to feel an immediate relaxation occur over your body. Focus on the vastness of darkness in a very peaceful way behind the eyelids. Now shift your focus to the sensation of your belly moving forward and then retracting back towards your spine. Maybe you can feel the ribs expand on the side body. And then notice how at the very end of the exhale, there's a little chest rise. Take in all the sensations of your breath. Continue to have this calming breath throughout the rest of your practice today. Let's begin to flutter our eyes to a soft gaze. Let's take our hands into heart center and just press those palms towards one another, not so that the chest rounds and creates tension in the throat, but instead press the palms and retract those shoulders back so that the chest has a nice broad opening across the top, and you might feel some engagement in the shoulder blades in the back body. Maybe let the elbows drop down a little bit towards your sides, and feeling how the shoulders will also find distance from the ears. Just feeling this energetic sensation of a prayer pose. In yoga, whether we're doing postures or positionings of the hands, we refer to these things as mudras, as they have deeper meaning behind their physical appearance. So of course, this is a very powerful mudra, palm to palm, channeling energy right in front of our hearts. Can you feel the warmth building up into the arms, into the shoulders, into the chest? All of the associated body parts that surround our heart. So we're warming the tissues, warming the joints, and bringing that sensation deep into the center of our body, around our heart. I'm going to release those hands back down to the lap. This is Dr. Charming. She is a representation of the mind that periodically comes in and interrupts you and reminds you of things that you don't need to be thinking about, but we allow it because, well, she's my dog. So, split your legs, whether you're sitting on top of something or if you are just sitting on the floor. We're going to just split the legs so that they're separated nice and wide. We're going to start by just taking our hands down in front of us into a fold. It may not be your deepest fold as of yet, but one that just starts to bring length into the inner thighs, the back of the thighs, and even the back body. Allow the head and neck to be tall, and then just slightly tuck your chin. So as much as I want to look at you guys, better for my alignment if my gaze comes up, but my head and neck stay in line with the rest of my spine. We're going to take 3 full cycles of breath here. Walk your hands back upright just a little bit. Hi, Dr. Charming. She's sweet. And we're going to take ourselves to the left side of our leg. So take your left hand on the top of the thigh first and just start to slide it down. And maybe it only makes it to the thigh, maybe it makes it to the shin. Maybe try not to put pressure directly at the knee. So if we can be a little bit below, maybe make it all the way down to the toes, but wherever you slide, we're just gonna pause right there and take our right hand and place it on our hip. And make sure that that hip is connected with the earth. We're just gonna rotate our chest out a little bit more towards the ceiling. See if you can slide down a little bit more. Rotate the chest up, slide maybe a little bit more, kind of like a little teeter-tottering here. So we open, we sink, we open, we sink, and feeling the relationship between those two directions. So we've got both side bending and rotation happening in our trunk, while we're also incorporating a nice deep left hamstring groin stretch. So now that you've positioned your trunk and torso in nice alignment, I'm going to take that right arm and rise it straight up. That way it prevents us from kind of collapsing towards that left side. We're creating an energy line up towards the sky. Now the gaze, if your head and neck feels comfortable just being neutral forward, that's great. You could gaze towards your left hand, towards the left toe, or you could gaze up towards the right thumb. One more cycle of breath here. Excellent. We're going to come out of this by taking an inhale and reaching this right hand upward towards the sky while simultaneously sliding the left arm up the thigh. So we're going to inhale using a little bit of kickstand support. Let's keep that arm up above our head. Dial the thumb outward and the pinky inward, and feel what that does to your scapulas. Try not to be crooked like I just was, but leveling the shoulders out and just feeling what that's like to have one arm above you. Maybe the gaze comes up and we just slightly back bend. And then keeping in contact with the right arm, we're going to trot across our body and then let the left arm come around that right arm. And we're going to pull that arm across our body so that we've got a nice shoulder stretch coming from the center of our spine and around the deltoid muscles. If it's easier to grab the elbow, you can do that too to create a stretch. Maybe you can grab the shoulder, whatever position feels comfortable. Try and drop that right shoulder down away from the ear and just take a couple cycles of breath here, opening those shoulders and the back of the heart up. Oh, hello there. Encouraging kisses from Dr. Charming. That's right. Love you. Love you. Very nice. Let's go ahead and just begin to unfold the left arm, reach that right arm all the way out and maybe even backward, bringing the wrist even into an extended position so that we're really opening up not only the chest and the front of the arm, but we're actually creating a nice stretch to some of the nerves that exit through our neck region. So a nice stretch. If you get any numbness or tingling back here, then just bring the range back to a level that does not create any numbness or tingling. And then we'll just rest that hand on our lap. I'm going to slide back just a little bit so that the other side can be seen, but you can stay where you are. So we're coming into that split posture once again. We're going to take the right hand and touch the top of our right thigh and just start to slide the hand down as far as it feels comfortable to create a side bend stretch through that left side body now. I make it comfortably to about my ankle just to start, but again, wherever you float, as long as you feel a comfortable stretch, that's exactly where you need to be. Left hand's going to come to the hips, and we're going to start to rotate that trunk and torso so that the trunk is really more aligned and the chest is lifting towards the sky. And then maybe the side bend creates a little bit deeper of a bend. We rotate a little bit deeper. Now my hands can relocate to the toes. Hi, sweetie. Now that you feel like you've gotten to a comfortable position that you can sustain, we'll take that left arm, if you wish, and rise it up towards the sky, creating that upward lift to prevent the collapsing in the side body. Gaze forward, gaze towards the right hand, just try not to collapse the shoulder if you do so, or gaze up towards the left hand, which will encourage the chest opening towards the sky, the ceiling, the moon, the sun, whatever it is you want to direct your energy to. We're going to go ahead and take a cycle of breath here. And then take the left hand and just inhale as you rise and simultaneously support yourself up that right thigh. Take the pinky, dial it in, drop the shoulders level, and let that shoulder blade float down the back, thinking tall, feeling tall. And we'll take that same left arm, bring it across our body, cupping the outer forearm or elbow with our bent right forearm and elbow. Drop that left shoulder down just a little bit closer to the floor and further from the ear, trying to get level shoulders. into that back body. Feel the space increasing between your spine and your shoulder blade. Let's go ahead and unbend the right elbow and just open that left arm all the way out behind the body, letting the chest become broad again. Maybe flipping the wrist backward and creating a nice stretch. Again, if you feel numbness, take the wrist bend away or take some of the distance away so that we can protect our nerves. And we'll bring that arm back just towards our lap. And I'm sure you're ready to move your legs out of this position, so we're going to go ahead and do that, drawing the feet together. And again, I'm sitting up on top of something. It makes it a lot easier. So something to consider. We're just going to let those knees drop down towards the floor. They certainly may stay kind of hiked up like mine are at the moment. And we're going to push into the thighs and let that chest lift. Inhale. Exhale. And as you take your next exhale, we're going to let the chest fold towards our feet. And your hands can then slide to the ankles or the feet. But instead of rounding through the back, which isn't necessarily wrong, it just changes the sensations in the spine. So we're going to take more of an open chest. Boy, my video really, it's great to practice in front of a mirror because you see things that you might not see. There's benefits, there's pros and cons to practicing in front of a mirror, but me having this video, I can really see the difference in the tightness of my left leg versus my left leg in this direction. Just an observation, no judgment. Feeling that openness in the hips. Maybe the hands stretch out in front of you. You go a little bit deeper. Let's go ahead and slide the hands back up nice and tall. Push the hands against the knees. Inhale, maybe arch through the spine. And relax. We're going to take our hands and help close those legs up as you extend the feet back out. Probably feels really nice to bring those legs back into kind of a neutral alignment. And so we're going to come onto a half kneel or a low lunge now. So if you're on a surface that's maybe not nice and soft, like a carpet, then having a cushion again or a rolled blanket might be helpful. So I'm going to keep my right knee back on the floor, and then my left leg is going to come up in front of me. A lot of my postures are super modified right now. I am pregnant, so this big belly kind of gets in the way. You might want to have your arms surrounding this leg. For me right now, this is just a lot more feasible to have my hands on the inside of the leg. They're not wrong either way, they're just different. So, choose what works for you. Might even help get a deeper hip opener. So first, allow for the low lunge to create a stretch where you already feel some sensations in the front of the right hip and pelvis. And I'm just pushing those hands into the floor, really trying to lengthen my spine. This is another one where I don't want to hyperextend the neck. I want to reach tall through the crown of my head or out of my crown chakra, tucking the chin. If I want my gaze to come up, that's okay, but I want to try and keep the neck neutral with the rest of the spine. So this is our first hip extension, hip opener in this direction today. So certainly can be a little challenging, especially as we're all used to sitting throughout our day, or more likely that's the position that we resort to with either our work responsibilities, if we're in school, and we're sitting at home and enjoying maybe some time with family at a table or in front of the television. So this is a nice way to counterbalance some of those tight muscles that are in the front of the body. Just take another 3 cycles of breath here. Hi, Dr. Charming. And then to come out of this, we're just going to push those palms into the earth and just start to bend back into our tabletop. And we're just going to take a quick little side bend stretch. So just rock your hips both over to the right and look over your right shoulder. Open up that left side body, and then do the same thing to the left side body. A couple times back and forth. Very nice. And now we're going to switch to the other side. So we'll take the right leg forward this time, creating that low lunge stretch, placing the palms on the mat or on the carpet or wherever you're practicing. I'm going to tuck my chin but reach tall through the crown of my head, letting my spine be nice and aligned. Charm, please stop. She's grabbing all the things that she shouldn't be to get my attention. Really deep stretch here in the front of the pelvis, so take your time with breathing and allowing it to just open up slowly. Hi baby. Let's take another 3 cycles of breath. Just relax into that posture. Excellent. And we're going to take those palms and push into the floor, helping to ease out of that posture. Let's take a little child's pose to just balance out and rest our spine. So your child's pose can have knees close together as you stretch out the arms. Mine needs to be a little bit wider right now to create space for my belly, and even if you're even my non-pregnant self enjoys the wider legged position for this child's pose. So sit back as deep as you can on your heels and start to stretch those arms out. Try and get your forehead in contact with the floor for support, and if the forehead is very far away from the floor, then bring the floor to you by putting either a blanket or a cushion, a yoga block, something that helps your head and neck muscles relax. So for instance, I could use this little meditation pillow and just rest my forehead. Ooh, hi. Or not. Hi. Hi. Okay, please lay down. Lay down, okay? So stretch those arms out nice and long. Let the back rest. Let the spine become flexed as we just came from extension. No charm. So again, I don't, my dog can be an interruption, but so is the mind. So I try and just observe the things that are happening on around me and let them become part of the background. I'm going to take those arms and slide them back up, pushing yourself up into a tabletop position. Okay, and I'm going to come back on top of my pillow. You might come just to a comfortable seated position. Or you might start to assume your Shavasana positioning or corpse pose, which would be laying flat on your back with your palms out by your side, your legs extended, nice and wide so that the feet can flop outward. Depending on where you're headed from here will dictate what position you might want to stay in. So if this is an evening time video for you, then probably laying on your back is an excellent choice to help bring the body down into a nice calm state. If this is morning time, like perhaps how it is for me, I'm not really wanting to go back to sleep because if I lay down, I very well could. So I'm going to stay upright to do some final breath awareness. If any of those positions just aren't comfortable for you, then modify it to be comfortable. Knees can be bent. You could lay on your side or on your stomach. All those are excellent options as well. The most important thing is that you're comfortable. So I'm going to rest my hands on top of my thighs. You might just have your hands again resting on the floor. Take a big inhale through the nose. This time, let it all out through the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. And allow yourself to come back to that nice darkness behind the eyelids, the calmness in your breath, the space that's created in your body to help your breath move and maneuver. Thoughts may come up at this time. Try to just become an observer of those thoughts and let them pass. Becoming the seer, the observer of the thoughts, separates ourself from our ego and our identity and allows us to rest in the capital S self, the divinity that's within all of us, that unites and connects us. Recognize that the thoughts continue to change. They come and they go. But the observer of those thoughts does not change. It's constant. Presence. No need to judge if you find yourself getting pulled into the identities of the ego. When you become aware of it, just shrug the shoulders and take that step back into the observer seat once again, starting the process of observation over. It is in the act of doing this that you are achieving meditation. Take a few more silent moments. Feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. If you are on a schedule and have places to be, then perhaps now making some physical movements will be beneficial to bring yourself back. was my pleasure to take you through your yoga practice, but thank yourselves for taking time to be here. The light and honor in me respects and honors the light in you. Namaste.